My husband believed I was materialistic and vain, fearing that I would raise our son to be mercenary as well, so he strictly controlled every penny in the household, even going so far as to burn paper money in batches after my son and I died. "I'll burn the paper money for you 3 times a day, to prevent you from squandering it with our son down there." My in-laws nearby were dumbfounded. My son and I were also stunned. "You controlled our spending while we were alive, and now you want to continue even after death. You'd make ghosts come back to life with anger." Unexpectedly, upon opening our eyes, my son and I had truly come back to life. Upon opening our eyes again, we returned to the day Victor and I divorced. "Lily, after the divorce, Andy goes to you. You and our son can move to the apartment under my name. I'll transfer child support to you 3 times a day. I've asked the nanny. Ordinary families spend 10 yuan on breakfast, 30 on lunch, 50 on dinner, rounding up, I'll give you 100 yuan a day. For additional living expenses, you need to apply in writing, and I'll transfer accordingly at my discretion, to prevent you from squandering the money and distorting Andy's view of money." Victor spoke incessantly about his concerns and arrangements. In a daze, I lowered my head to glance at our son Andy, and Andy looked back at me similarly. With just one look, I was certain, we, mother and son, had been reborn. In our previous life, Victor, fearing my materialism and vanity, forced me to quit my job after marriage to become a housewife, and he strictly controlled every penny in the household. Andy and I lived under his thumb for 3 years until I could no longer endure it and proposed divorce. But he, on the contrary, calculated even the basic living allowances meticulously during the divorce, fearing to give an extra penny that might allow me to squander. Moreover, he tirelessly transferred child support 3 times a day. If I failed to report Andy's daily status promptly, he would punitively deduct the child support, sometimes for 1 day, sometimes for 3. In the previous life, I was driven to desperation by this suffocating control, washing dishes in a restaurant during the day until my fingers wrinkled, and cleaning office buildings at night until dawn, too exhausted to straighten my back but daring not to stop. Andy was at the age of rapid growth and needed milk and fruits, but the 100 yuan Victor gave barely covered 3 meals, not to mention his occasional deductions. There was no extra money for me to dispose of. I clenched my fists tightly, nails digging deep into my flesh, to suppress the surging hatred. Victor was still looking down at me from across, his eyes full of scrutiny, as if I would take his money and indulge in extravagance the next second. "Fine, I agree." I raised my head, my voice calm without a ripple. Victor obviously hadn't expected me to agree so readily. He was stunned for a moment, then pushed the already prepared divorce agreement toward me. "Sign it. Remember what you said, if I find you squandering the money instead of caring for the child, you won't get a single cent of child support." I picked up the pen and signed my name stroke by stroke, each character like a farewell to the sufferings of the previous life. After signing, I took Andy's hand, stood up, and walked straight to the door without glancing back at Victor. The moment we stepped out of the villa gate, sunlight poured over us, warming us to the point of teary eyes. Andy's small hand gripped mine tightly. He looked up and smiled at me. "Mom, we're free." I shook my head. Without true financial independence, living by begging with palms up doesn't count as real freedom. Returning to what Victor called the apartment under my name, it was merely a 40-square-meter-old house with peeling wall plaster. But I didn't mind at all. I tidied Andy's room and made the living room sofa into my bed, feeling unusually secure. At least here, there was no Victor's surveillance, no suffocating oppression. The next morning, when sunlight streamed through the old window, I suddenly woke up startled. Andy beside me was still hugging his small pillow, sleeping soundly with a rosy face. In the previous life, I always woke early in anxiety, fearing any mistake would displease Victor. Now, rarely relaxed, I actually overslept. I hurriedly woke Andy, clumsily dressed and washed him, without time for breakfast, only pocketing 2 packs of biscuits as we rushed to kindergarten. Watching Andy bounce into the kindergarten, I finally sighed in relief. Just as I turned, my phone vibrated. It was Victor's message, full of accusations. "Lily, look at the time. Even late for the child's school, you're so lazy? You've corrupted Andy." Today's child support is deducted as a lesson for you. In the previous life, seeing this would have panicked me. I'd cry while sending long apologies, fearing further deductions. But now, I just stared at the screen with a cold laugh, turned off the phone with my finger, without any intention to explain. I knew reasoning with Victor was futile, he only believed his own judgments. Better to think of practical solutions than argue. I looked up at the supermarket across from the kindergarten and walked straight in. I took photos in the vegetable and meat sections, then one of the empty shopping basket, and posted on Facebook with the caption, "No money for groceries, relatives and friends, who can help?" After posting, I ignored the phone, turned to buy the cheapest bag of flour and a few eggs. Even without money, Andy had to have a hot meal in the evening. Just after paying, the phone rang incessantly. Opening it, I saw my mother-in-law's comment on Facebook, "Lily, what's going on? Is that boy Victor bullying you again?" My heart warmed. I quickly replied to her, "Mom, it's not a big deal, just late dropping Andy off today. He said he'd deduct today's child support. I really don't have much money left, thinking of borrowing some." Within seconds, my mother-in-law called. Upon answering, I heard her furious voice, "Has Victor lost his mind? Daring to deduct a mere 100 yuan daily child support? Is he still Andy's father? Don't mind him, Mom will transfer money to you now, use it first. This rascal is crazy, a regional manager with 1 million yuan annual salary, yet so stingy to his own wife and child." After hanging up, I looked at the 1,000 yuan transfer, feeling mixed emotions. My mother-in-law was right, Victor's company was a prominent enterprise in China, as the South City regional manager, not to mention 100 yuan a day in child support, even 1,000 yuan would be negligible to him. But Victor insisted on calculating money finer than a needle's tip, not stinginess, but conviction that I was weak and bullyable, using this money to manipulate and control me, keeping me forever under his dominance. I had just edited and sent a thank you message to my mother-in-law when the phone rang again, displaying Victor. I took a deep breath, pressed answer, deliberately making my voice hoarse as if I'd just cried. "Hello? Lily, what do you mean by that Facebook post?" Victor's voice carried suppressed anger. "Deliberately airing family laundry to make others laugh at me? Or trying to scam money by playing the victim?" I sneered inwardly but feigned grievance and panic on the surface. I didn't. "I really have no money for groceries, Andy didn't even have breakfast today," I posted in anxiety, "not intending to make others laugh at you, nor to scam money, don't overthink." As I spoke, I quietly pressed the record button. Having suffered too much in the previous life, in this one, I had to leave a backup for myself. The other end was silent for a few seconds, seemingly judging the truth of my words. After a while, he snorted coldly, "Better not. Remember, if I find out you took others' money or squandered mine, I have ways to make your life miserable." I quickly followed his lead, "I know, I definitely won't." Pausing, I continued, "Can you transfer today's child support first? I bought flour and eggs, no meat at home, Andy is growing, can't always eat these." Before finishing, Victor interrupted, "Deducting child support is to make you remember, being late is wrong. Don't mention money again, when you've learned your lesson, then we'll talk." With that, he hung up with a snap. Listening to the busy tone, I couldn't help but laugh. Even now, he still thought to manipulate me with child support. I opened the contacts, flipping through the Chin family relatives' numbers, an idea forming. In the previous life, I always feared airing family ugliness, afraid of being called ignorant or disrupting family harmony, so no matter how Victor bullied me, I gritted my teeth and endured. The result? Not only was I driven to a dead end, but relatives misunderstood me as lazy and restless. But in this life, I realized, what Victor cared most about was his reputation in business circles. He could be harsh to me, deduct child support, but he absolutely dared not let outsiders know he deducted his own son's support, failing to ensure basic living for his ex-wife and son. I had planned, if Victor didn't give child support tomorrow, I'd continue posting on Facebook, even casually mention family matters to familiar media friends. As for losing face, what did I, an ordinary powerless person, fear? But Victor couldn't afford it. On the way home past the convenience store, I bumped into Hannah's mom, Andy's classmate. Grace, carrying 2 full bags of groceries, saw my small bag of flour and eggs, stunned, and asked puzzled, "Lily? You bought so little?" "Andy is growing, he needs more nutritious food." My face heated. After hesitating a few seconds, I said truthfully, "Grace, don't mention it, late dropping Andy off today. Ex-husband said to teach me a lesson by deducting today's support. I have little money, can only buy these to cope." "Deduct child support?" Grace's eyes widened. "Being late for school is trivial, worth deducting support? Besides, as a grown man, being so stingy with child support?" I shook my head with a bitter smile, couldn't help complaining more than that, he fears I'd use the money on others, transfers support 3 times a day, totaling 100 yuan, and I must report Andy's status daily. A slight delay might deduct 1 or even 3 days' money. "My God!" Grace exclaimed. "This is too bizarre. Who manages an ex-wife like that? As if he's so rich, fearing you'd covet it." I smiled helplessly, said no more, but my heart suddenly sank. In the previous life at this time, Grace saw my hardship and offered to introduce work, but fearing Victor's suspicions, I stubbornly refused, later forced to do exhausting, low-paying manual labor. In this life, I must not miss the chance again. I took a deep breath, mustered courage, and looked at Grace, inquiring, "Do you know places hiring clerks?" "Low wage is fine, as long as there's income and I can pick up Andy on time." Grace was stunned, then her eyes lit up. "Clerk? What a coincidence. My husband's company is short a clerk recently, no overtime, 6 hours daily, just in time to pick up the child after school." My eyes brightened. Grace continued, "I'll talk to my husband, let you try." Before I reacted, Grace pulled out her phone and called her husband on the spot. On the phone, she briefly explained my situation, tone full of support. "I'm telling you, Lily is a great person, just met the wrong man. Aren't you short a clerk? Let her go, don't be too harsh on salary, she has to raise a child." Moments later, Grace hung up, smiling at me. "Done. My husband says start tomorrow, 3,500 yuan monthly, and specifically cash, to avoid your ex-husband seeing transfers and troubling you." Hearing 3,500 and cash, tears surged from my eyes. In the previous life, working 3 jobs desperately, I earned less monthly, still facing Victor's moods. Now, just asking once brought this opportunity. Grace was startled by my sudden tears, quickly handing a tissue. "Lily, what's wrong? Did I say something wrong?" No. I wiped tears, voice choked. "Grace, thank you, really thank you so much. I finally don't have to beg others anymore, can earn to support Andy myself." Grace patted my shoulder, sighed, "Silly child, why cry? This is what you deserve. If difficulties arise, tell me, we're both moms, helping each other is natural." The next morning, I deliberately woke half an hour early, fried golden eggs for Andy, warmed milk, dropped him at school, then rushed to Grace's husband's company. It was a small trading company on the 10th floor of an office building. The boss, surnamed Zhou, around 40, with a gentle smile, no airs. He simply asked about my office software usage. Seeing my fluent answers, he smiled. "Work isn't complex, mainly organizing contracts, entering data, ask colleagues if unsure." Saying that, he took 500 yuan cash from the drawer and handed it. "This is an advance for living expenses. It's not easy with a child, take it first to buy food for him." I stood stunned, looking at the warm stack of cash, eyes instantly heating. In the previous life, accustomed to Victor's harsh calculations, I'd forgotten the taste of gentle treatment. Clutching the money, my voice trembled. "Daniel, thank you, I'll work hard, not betray your trust." Daniel waved. "We're all parents, help where we can." At my desk, I sent Victor a photo of Andy entering kindergarten. He immediately transferred 10 yuan with a message. "Breakfast money, don't waste on useless things. Remember to photo lunch and dinner for me." Looking at the 10 yuan, I couldn't help recalling previous life days. Back then, Victor calculated every cent. If I dared rebut, he'd deduct the next few days' support. To let Andy eat full meals, I often ate one steamed bun a day, sometimes one every 2 days. Under 30, my face sallow, body weak, even pharmacy doctors asked if I had a serious illness. I opened the transfer, silently deposited into balance, then screenshot and posted on Facebook, thanks to ex-husband's generous 10 yuan child support. Minutes after posting, a relative commented, "What is Victor doing? Treating like beggars?" I didn't reply, just turned off the phone and started work. I knew 10 yuan wasn't much, but every cent was our survival foundation. Whatever Victor's intentions, I had to save it well, not like the previous life, neglecting my own sustenance. Days passed, my work at the company became smoother. Daniel occasionally gave important contracts to organize, saying he'd raise my salary after some time. Andy adapted more to kindergarten life. Having died once, now seeing my son's smiling face and fulfilling life, I felt all hardships worthwhile. One morning a week later, I woke to find my period had come. I touched the cash in my pocket, Daniel's advance. I could buy sanitary pads directly, but after long hesitation, I dialed Victor. I knew Victor too well, he pinpointed my daily expenses precisely. If I bought pads myself and he found out, he'd suspect hidden savings, then find excuses to deduct support. The phone rang long before answering, Victor's voice impatient, "What is it?" "I'm busy." I tried to sound calm, "My period came, no pads at home, can you transfer some money?" Victor was silent a few seconds, tone mocking, "Lily, you don't even have money for pads? Did you squander the child support I gave?" Clutching the phone, suppressing anger, I didn't squander, support went to Andy's food. If you don't believe, check daily payment screenshots I send. What does that prove? Victor's voice rose. Turn on video, I'll watch you buy, send payment code, I'll pay, to prevent tricks. I bit my lip, still opened video call. In the lens, Victor in crisp suit, in spacious office, eyes full of scrutiny. Phone in hand, I walked to downstairs convenience store, just at the shelf, heard Victor, "Take the left one, silk feels comfortable." He was like that, stingy, yet sometimes showing generosity and consideration. I said nothing, turned to check out. The young female cashier saw me holding phone, photographing payment code to send Victor, her face astonished, eyes puzzled. Embarrassed, cheeks burning, I couldn't explain, hastily left after Victor paid. Turning, heard her calling, "Sister, just saw a pitiful housewife, buying pads needs husband to pay. No marriage, no kids for peace." Leaving the store, Victor's message came, "Remember, for these things, tell me, don't decide yourself." I didn't reply, directly turned off screen, deep breath to suppress grievance. Looking at the pads, couldn't help recalling our meeting, started with an absurd poor pretending prank. He faked poverty to pursue me. After dating, I discovered truth, decisively broke up, but unexpectedly pregnant. Doctor said aborting might make me infertile forever, so I sought Victor, married for the child. From then, he thought I was vain, after his money to be with him. I explained, but he didn't listen, even when I wanted work, he questioned if I'd hook rich men. Actually, I just wanted independence. To make friends, occasionally shop and gossip with them. But in Victor's eyes, everything I did was for money. Days gradually normalized, days organizing contracts, entering data at trading company, nights, after Andy slept, I'd set small table in living room, open second-hand laptop to learn skills. Screen light reflected peeling wall, yet brightened my heart. Enrolled an online PS course, followed free tutorials for short video editing, thinking more skills mean more earning paths, no longer facing Victor's moods for everything. Half a month later, kindergarten teacher Sophia suddenly posted summer camp notice in parent group, early next month to suburban eco park, 2 nights, including meals, transport, course fees, 2,000 yuan per child, deadline in 3 days. Staring at 2,000 on screen, fingers unconsciously clenched phone. Checking balance, less than 500 yuan, Daniel's salary mid-next month, this barely enough for Andy's milk. After long hesitation, I screenshot Sophia's notice and sent to Victor, with note, Andy's kindergarten summer camp needs 2,000 yuan, can you transfer? Message sent. Within 2 minutes Victor called, tone full of doubt, Lily, another trick? Photoshop a pic to scam my money? Tell you, don't think I'm easy to fool. In previous life, hearing this I'd panic, fearing he'd cause scene at kindergarten embarrassing Andy, only apologizing profusely, ultimately scraping money myself. But now, I take a deep breath and speak calmly, I'm not lying to you. Miss Sophia did send a notice in the group chat. If you don't believe me, I can contact Miss Sophia right now and have her tell you personally. Or you can go directly to the principal to confirm. Victor, stunned, probably not expecting my directness, paused then said, fine, contact her, I want video with her and principal. If I find you lying, I won't pay any of Andy's expenses anymore. Hung up, I immediately messaged Sophia, explaining. She replied quickly, mildly, Andy's mom, no problem, I understand. Principal is in my office now, we can video with child's dad, don't worry. Video connected, Victor's face appeared, still scrutinizing. Sophia smiled greeting first, explained camp itinerary, fee details to Victor, principal added, Mr. Victor, rest assured, our kindergarten has organized camps for years, all fees publicized, no parent pays a penny unjustly. Victor listened, occasionally asking, is lodging safe? Can meals ensure nutrition? Sophia and principal patiently answered. Until confirming all details fine, he finally relented, tone still stiff, okay, I know, I'll transfer the money to her now. Video hung, seconds later phone received transfer alert, exactly 2,000 yuan. I thanked Sophia and principal on screen repeatedly, thank you teacher Sophia, thank you principal, sorry for trouble. Sophia smiled, it's due, all for the child, don't be polite. Leaving kindergarten, Sophia escorted me to door, sunset stretched our shadows long. She hesitated, then softly, Andy's mom, actually our kindergarten has subsidies for poor families, if truly difficult, apply, it can waive part of fees, procedure simple. I stopped, heart warmed yet sour. I knew Sophia meant well, but I couldn't accept, Victor could afford, million annual salary, 2,000 yuan mere meal cost, but he wouldn't trust me, wouldn't easily transfer, even for Andy. After dinner, Andy lay on carpet building blocks, humming kindergarten nursery rhymes, blocks clinking softly, rippling warmth in small living room. I cleaned dishes, carried garbage bag downstairs, one voice-activated light in hallway broken, lighting half at each step, shadow flickering on wall. At trash bin, I pulled phone, fingers subconsciously opened Facebook. Before, when Victor deducted support or made me video by pads, I'd post sarcastic words, hoping relatives would speak justice, now staring at input, typed and deleted, felt pointless. Those words like punches on cotton, Victor didn't care. He even scrutinized own son's camp fees, how would he mind others' views? Fingertip swiped screen, suddenly recalled last time mother-in-law secretly transferred 1,000 yuan, Victor discovered, called immediately. Tone full of malice, Lily, you instigated my mom to give money again? Tell you, since divorced, don't think of any money relation with my family. Later I learned, after discovering transfer, he not only argued with mother-in-law on spot, stopped her alimony, but in relative group declared whoever helps Lily, don't expect a penny from me. Since then, relatives dared not even comment on my Facebook. Before, someone commented under my 10 yuan support post cursing Victor excessive. 2 days later privately apologized, Victor talked to me, really sorry. Looking at empty comment section, wanted to laugh but lips wouldn't move, tears dropped on phone screen, blurring Andy's smiling photo on Facebook. Lily? Why crying here? Familiar voice came, I hurriedly wiped tears, looked up seeing Grace with garbage bag under streetlight, warm yellow light on her face, full of concern. She approached, handed tissue, is that ex-husband bullying you again? I took it, sniffed, forced smile, nothing, just a bit tired. Grace insisted, holding my arm softly, don't be polite with me, I know it's hard with child. Is money short? I have some, borrow first, repay when salaried, no rush. Her hand warm, like when introducing job, with sincere warmth. My heart soured, but I shook head. Accepting help isn't hard, but treats symptoms not root, for true escape from Victor, only my genuine independence works. This time, I learned editing skills online, decided to open self-media account for videos. In previous life, I thought showing face shameful, but after death, even paper burning calculated by Victor, I understood, dignity earned oneself, not weighted guarding face. My account named Andy's Mom's 100 yuan 3 meals. First video edited till 2 a.m., shooting how to buy 2 carrots, old tofu with 10 yuan, plus half leftover noodles, make Andy's favorite tofu veggie noodles, save for midday cold tofu myself. Video out first 3 days, views only dozens, comments empty. Undiscouraged, daily early drop Andy, squat market for discounts, afternoon home cook while shoot, night stay up edit. Once shooting stewed rib soup, to save, waited butcher close, bought bony scraps, home carefully remove membranes, stew with 2 dry dates for flavor, Andy licked bowl, clipped scene, caption 100 yuan lets child drink hot soup too. Unexpectedly, this video went viral, views over 10,000, comments, cried, I'm single mom too, such thrifty nutritious methods so useful. Others asked Auntie, can teach veggie patties kids love? I replied each, fingers flying on keyboard, heart first warmed by being needed. Besides videos, I took crochet jobs in community group. Employer a mom, crochet toys for child, 20 yuan each. Days work, nights edit then crochet, yarn employer's leftovers, needle 3 yuan from stall. Slow at first, fingers pricked often, blood on yarn, I secretly wiped, continued. First bear toy 3 nights, delivery, employer praised finer than stores, gave 5 more orders on spot. Gradually, merchants approached self-media account for collab, I started monetizing traffic. 3 months passed, posted last monthly promo video, opened bank app, saw balance, 9,862 yuan, heart suddenly raced. Refreshed page repeatedly, confirmed not illusion, tears flowed. This wasn't Victor's deducted 100 yuan, not mother-in-law's secret aid, stitched needle by needle, edited frame by frame, truly mine and Andy's money. In an instant, panic melted like sun-dried, I finally didn't rely on Victor's ums. Victor deliberately stopped support, thinking I'd apologize, but 3 weeks passed, finding I didn't even message, he panicked. He opened chat, fingertip hovered half day, finally typed condescending, forgot to transfer support, send this week's expense details, I'll make up. Send pressed, screen popped, the other party has blocked you. Victor stunned. Friday afternoon, half-hour early at kindergarten gate waiting Andy, just saw him run out with dinosaur backpack, wrist suddenly gripped, force almost crushing bone. Lily. You've grown bold. Victor's voice ice quenched, spittle on my face, dare block me? Say, who you latched on? Whose money you've spent this time? Andy scared, hid behind me, small hand clutching my hem. Surrounding parents picking kids instantly gathered. What's happening? Andy's mom doesn't seem like sugar baby type. No face not heart, I'll tell my child stay away from Andy. Hearing discussions, Victor as if saw truth, standing on moral high ground overlooking me. I understood, it was time to sever completely. Deep breath, forcefully his hand, voice clear enough for all, Victor, you dare say? Divorce you said 3 times daily support, morning 10, lunch 30, evening 50, I sent Andy's expense screenshots daily, you? Deduct at will, even video supervise my pad by. His face paled, still quibbled, I feared you squander. You jobless vagrant, without watching, can you raise Andy well? Squander? I pulled recorder from bag, pressed play. Victor's previous voice clear, deduct support to make you remember, video for pad by, I watch you pay, extra expenses written apply. Crowd exploded, whispers turned blatant accusations. God, 100 daily in 3 parts, too stingy. Even control child's mom buying daily items, this man too suffocating. No wonder blocked him, I couldn't endure either. Victor's face liver red, still stiff-necked, what's wrong managing money? For Andy's good. Better than her taking money to fool with wild men. Saying, he looked down at Andy. Andy, say, did your mom do bad things? Else where money to raise you? Dad bad? Andy suddenly emerged from behind, small face flushed. Mom no fooling. Mom edits videos late nightly, crochets bear toys for me. I don't want dad like you. This like knife, precisely stabbed Victor's heart. He stunned, eyes incredulous, after while roared, Lily. See what you've taught the child. Saying, reached to grab Andy's arm, Andy come with dad give you good life. Don't touch me. Andy dodged Victor's touch, I pulled Victor's arm, but he, surrounding parents, seeing, rolled sleeves to join fray. Then, stop. Sophia scolded, behind 2 uniformed police approached. Mr. Victor, I've called police, continue and we'll handle legally. Police forward pressed Victor's hands, he struggled shouting that's my son, until cared to police car, foul words faded. I squatted hugging Andy, he still sobbed softly, I patted back gently, it's okay Andy, mom's here. That night, confrontation video posted online. Suffocating ex-husband deducts support, single mom counters weird ex, 2 topics overnight hot search, netizens dug Victor's company inside out. Avoid this company, boss character so bad, employees get good treatment? Victor type deserves manager? Quick resign. Only I pity ex-wife sis? Stuck with such rot, really miserable. Me too, good she divorced, else ruined to death. Ex-wife sis smart, new record evidence, new era awakened heroine, I'll follow. Me too me too. Under netizens calling friends, my account gained 100,000 followers overnight. DMs full of comfort and encouragement. Days later, MCN agencies approached, discussed signing, providing professional operations. I compared offers, better than typical new bloggers, quick clerk job, formally signed agency. After, I gave Grace 5,000 yuan red envelope, though pained, without her help, no today's me. She declined half-day, finally accepted, holding my hand, Lily, seeing you now, I'm truly happy. Andy more outgoing, this better than anything. Later days, I took Andy shooting videos, taking ads, occasionally shared park kite flying, library reading routines. Andy gradually unafraid of camera, sometimes sang kindergarten songs in videos, netizens liked his soft look, called little influencer Andy. His backpack no longer just discount biscuits, but full of loved strawberries and imported milk. Hearing Victor's news again, half-year later. Do online negative news, head company removed his regional manager post, job hunting, HR frowned at name, some directly, our company doesn't need character issue people. He stayed home 3 months, haggard beyond recognition. One afternoon, mother-in-law called suddenly, voice tearful, Lily can you bring Andy see Victor? He knows wrong, was confused before, now regrets terribly, just wants apologize to you. Looking at Andy building blocks beside, softly, Mom, don't deceive yourself. He doesn't know wrong, he lost job, can't bear consequences. When deducting my support, humiliating me, why not think of today? Andy lives well now, I don't want him stimulated again. Hearing this, mother-in-law sighed, only lamented if known earlier, why bother initially, then no more persuasion. Hung up, Andy ran over holding just built small house, Mom, when go seaside? You said take Andy see ocean. I smiled, touched his head, pulled already packed suitcase, now. Sunlight through window on suitcase, inside our changes, and his favorite bear toy. Downstairs taxi horn sounded, I held Andy's hand outdoor, behind past sufferings, ahead hopeful new path.